Hi, I'm Dan. I'm a sailor and a wannabe boat builder, and I am working on putting together a Riverton Duster, which was designed in 1933 for sailing on the Delaware River at Riverton Yacht Club, where we sail the Gossamer Penguin. I'm trying to bring them back. I'm trying to resurrect the old wooden dusters, but to do that, well, I guess I have to make one, so that's what we're doing. Today, we are going to try and make a boat-shaped thing I mean, that's kind of the whole point, isn't it? I'm trying to make a boat-shaped thing, but I'm trying to make a thing that will be light enough for me to carry, but basically the dimensions of the final duster so that I can see if I can fit a duster through the Bilco doors into my basement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my strung back down to not its final length, but the length of the boat. And then I'm going to stretch some pieces along the 2-foot stations and curve a batten around it to basically make just a flat, biggest cross section of the boat. That way I can see if the thing on its side, like, I don't have any worries about the width. It's a great big, swing up Bilco door. But I have a problem. I have a worry about the length and the width of the thing if it's gonna angle up and actually clear all of the edges of the door. So that's what we're working on today. First thing I need to do is measure and cut, and then we'll try and make a boat-shaped thing. Here we go. So the duster is gonna be 13 feet, 9.5 inches long. The plans say plus or minus an inch. I'm going to try and get it bang on. And that's where our line's going to go. That's how long our fake boat is going to be. Let's try this. Cool. That's pretty, well, it's cut and it's square-ish, pretty darn close. And now we've got a board that is as long as a duster. Oh, I even cut off like the janky bit. That's fortuitous. I probably should have planned that. I planned that. I'm going to pretend I planned that. Okay, so these are the final dimensions of the boat. These are the ones that they used to actually measure them when they were Racing One design. So each of these is 2 feet apart, and you see here, like, the half breadth is 27 inches at the 6-foot mark. And this is the most important one, I think, for making clearance. So it's going to be 27 inches that way, 27, what is that, 2 feet, 4 feet, 3 inches? No, 4 feet 6 inches, 4.5 feet. That's right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make something that's 4.5 feet wide. I'm going to attach it to that 2x6. And I'm going to spring some kind of batten, probably an old piece of molding or something, around just to make all of that fit. Hopefully, that's the idea. So what I've got here is a fence picket that I made for, well, a fence, but I had some extras. They're only 4 feet long, which is shorter than the 4.5 feet that I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them to the half breadths, at least for station number 6, and maybe for a couple more of them. And I'm going to attach a batten to the end of the thing so I can bend it around and have something boat-shaped. Here we go. So we don't need to be like deadly exact, but I'm going to try and be close. Mark each of these right about on their center line. So we can be as close to station 6, the 6 foot mark as we can, that widest point. And then we will put these right on the line. That'll be as close as we need for the widest point. Should be right about there. And before someone yells at me about, you know, whatever I spring around these, it's going to end up bigger. Like this is the maximum dimension of the boat right here. Yes, but there will also be a rub rail, which doesn't get measured and isn't in the plan. And also, I would rather more room than less, you know? Like, this thing just barely squeaks by. It's going to be a tight fit for this boat with, you know, a couple of monkeys at each end trying to hoist it up my basement steps. I'd rather make it a little bit big and know that I can make it than make it a little bit small and it not. Contact. That is the widest dimension of my boat. That is not a big boat, is it? That's 4.5 feet. That's right, 4.5 feet. 4'6", bang on. Okay. Dusters are little, y'all. Two feet. That's my bow. Alright, so check this out. This is a sled that I made for my table saw for cutting those fence pickets that you saw earlier. So it's just a piece of old shelving that I got for free off of the guy who actually sold me the table saw. A couple of corner bits so that everything can butt up inside of that corner. And then back here is just a guide that goes in the, oh, what is this thing called? This little rail here, this slot. Alright, so what it does is it sits in the slot like that, and then the picket board sits on top, and it cuts that angle, and I flip it over, and it cuts the angle again, and I've got at least the beginning of a fence picket, and that should be more than sufficient for getting that little point on the end. For the actual fence, I used a block plane to knock down the round and make it all nice and pretty, and punch these holes with the drill press and another jig. And it's for a different video, but you know, to get these points that I can screw my batten in, well, my piece of molding probably, but whatever, I'm going to make a point on here, and I'm going to show off this dumb bootleg thing I made for my table saw. Hold up, let me set up. Right, so cut that notch, cut that notch. Turns out I've got a 7.5 inch blade on an 8 inch table saw, so it doesn't quite make it through. So I'm going to finish this off by hand, and then at least I've got a point on the end about that wide. Focus. About that wide. There it goes, about that wide. And that'll be enough for a batten to stick into. Yes, before you ask, I did finish all of these by hand for that fence. You know how I could have done this easier? Miter saw. I've got a powered miter saw. That probably would have been way quicker. But then I couldn't show off my silly little jig, right? I like this way better. This way's better. This isn't exactly where the bow transom's going to end up. It's going to be off by like a tiny bit. But that's okay. This isn't the end that I'm really, really worried about. It's the middle. I want to make sure that the middle clears when this is touching the ground, like on its side and tipped up. So I think I'm going to put in another one of these for the stern and then see what it looks like when I bend these big pieces of molding around it, just to spring a batten and get a feel. Yet again, Paul Sellers just puking at my technique with hand tools. I know it. Like, he's never seen my videos, but I know he's watching and being like, you shaved ape. Alright, table saw. See if this one's any better. This one, I think, came with the house. It's a little bit smaller pitch. It's like got fewer blades per inch, but it's probably dull because my previous owner probably I was gonna say my previous owner probably cut drywall with it. He's I don't know, it didn't seem super handy. But that was okay. Alright, neato. I messed up. I took the inner dimension, not the outer dimension. This is the smallest width of the transom, not the largest width of the transom. It means I gotta do this again. So that inauspicious looking piece of work is the mid-ish point, the bow and the stern at their maximum widths on a duster. I'm going to spring something curvy around those far out points, and then I'm going to have a silhouette, hopefully, of something duster-ish to see if I can get it up and down, well, mostly up my basement stairs. Okay, so what I've done is I found this little corner molding here, left over by the guy who lived there before me, and I nailed it in down here. I nailed it in over there, but they're only 8 feet long, so I kind of got this. So what I'm planning on doing is probably going to make the boat builders freak out. Because what I should do is like run out a nice perfect batten and scarf it and all of that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend these together, tape them in place, and then I've got something vaguely curvy and boat shaped. I'm pretty sure that's going to do for the purposes of just getting it to my backyard to see if I can get it through my doors. If I can, sweet. If I can't, I'll figure something out. But yeah, I'm going to go tape this up and then do the other side. Steve, Alex, Leo, Lou, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. All right. I mean, it's probably not the fairest curve in the world, but kind of looks boatish. And I think I'll take it. Wow. The thing is so much skinnier than The plans would lead you to believe, huh? Nutty. Okay, I'm doing the other side. Ooh, okay. Okay, so what we've got there is something that is roughly as long and as wide as a duster, with a couple of, well, battens sprung around the widest and narrowest points. I'm going to do some measurements, make sure that it looks pretty close to true. I might put another spreader, I guess. Spreader? Yeah, it's called a spreader now. At station 8, just in front of the one that's there, just so that I can make sure that the middle is actually as big and wide. I would hate for it to like squeak by right here, and then, you know, it actually doesn't work once I've got the boat built. So yeah, next time is probably going to be trying to lift that thing through my Velcro doors to see if I can get it in the garage. Then I've got a workspace. If not, then I'm going to, I don't know, maybe do it half in the garage, half in the driveway. We'll figure it out. So see you next time. Clean up after yourself, and I'm going to go do that now.